Somebody help me here. Hey guys, today is page put the book together day. There is no page. We've done all our pages and here they sit. Originally, if you started at the beginning of the series, you saw that I pulled out the chipboard pieces from this little book and I was going to use this book and put everything back in it. Well, the problem is I just don't have a way of controlling myself. I always wind up making things thicker than I expected. So here we have a situation where if I put all my pages in my book, it's going to be like that. That would be okay, except that this little area here is so small, it's going to really make this tight. And I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, so I think I don't want to do this. I have a book that we did for the 100 days, not this past year, but the year before, and this is what it looks like. It just doesn't close. It's one of those Dilutions books. There are videos for this series too, the 100-Day Project. Just go look in the playlist, I think, for 2018, I think. So I think what I'm going to do is make a book. I thought that I would alter this one here and take it apart and fix it so that it fit properly, like maybe take this little section out and raise it up and add more on the side. But that still leaves me with this problem. And this is not screwed in. It's not easy to get out. I did try to pry it up to see if it would be easy to take apart, and it would really ruin this edge here and I wouldn't be able to use it again. So I thought, well, I'm just going to save this book for another project and we'll come back to it later. So let me show you what I'm actually going to use today to make a book to fit this properly. Okay, so after searching through my things to see what I had to actually make a book, I decided on using this Triscuit box here, and the width of this spine here looked good to me, so I came up and tested it. It fits in there actually perfect so that everything would open and be able to be seen without being too tight down the spine. But the problem is it's not long enough this way or wide enough, and I don't want to leave this little area on. So I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to use this rest of this box here, but I'm going to cut this down and I'm going to attach it to what else I found, which is this. This is difficult. Excuse me while I fumble around for a minute. I have these two pieces of board. They're corrugated board. It's called 7x7 corrugated board and it's a Zutter product. I don't know why I have these. It's one of those things I found at Tuesday morning years ago that I thought I had to have, and now it's going to pay off because here I sit with it. And I'm going to make this the front and the back, like this. And then I need another hand. Somebody help me here. Attach my box to the front and back like this, and that'll be the spine. And then I'll have a little bit more than I need on the end here, but I can cut that off. Okay, so I'm going to figure out how to do that, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. Now, this is not going to be your typical binding. This is going to be a fake it till you make it, or make it while you fake it. One of those things. Because I originally planned on putting them in rings, you know, you saw the other binder, they have little holes on the side where they would fit into a ring. And I'm not going to try to find rings that I can put in here. I do have rings that will fit, but they're not on a little bar like this. They're not on this. The only ones I have like that are attached to something that I can actually put into the spine is this size, and I need bigger. The bigger ones I have are loose rings, and so I don't want loose rings because I don't want to try to figure out how to put them in there. I do have an idea of what I could do, but I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is just put a little string or ribbon or something through all the holes on one side and through all the holes on the other side, and then I put my holes through my spine, pull it through and tie it, and then that's going to be it. So what I'm going to do, take this off. I'm going to use this as a template because I think this is a good size for coming over the top of my book and the back of my book. That way it'll have a good secure place to hold on to. This is my spine. This is the part that closes. I'm going to lay my template right here at the edge of this little crease here, and then I'm going to mark right here. So I'm going to cut right here and get rid of this section of the box. That way I'll have this much left this will be my overlap onto my book. And I know I sound crazy today. I've got something going on, either a little cold or something, I don't know. Now we'll measure out this side. And this is just ballparking. You know, if it's not exact, it's okay, because this is going to get covered anyway. But I'm going to take my end pieces off to make it easier to cut. So all these are going to be removed. This will be removed. This little piece here, these pieces here. And then I'm going to take my cutter and I'm going to cut down this line here. And all that's going to be left is this, this, and this in one piece. I have all these little pieces cut off or torn off. This is what's left. And this is going to be my spine, and this is going to be the part that I attach here. I'm not going to go all the way to the crease here with my boards, because I don't want it in the crease messing with the crease. I'm going to glue them probably out some. Like here's the crease. I'll probably glue it maybe 1/2 inch or so out like that. But first I have to cut this down to this size, because I want this to be the same size as my organ. So I'm just going to mark that. So I'm just going to cut this little top part off. Okay, now my piece is the size of my boards. Same height. It's not the same width. This is a little bigger, and that's okay. These are going to be cut down a little bit too. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put my book down and measure, I don't know, it's probably about 3/4 of an inch where I want to glue it. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. It's about 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to glue it there. But what I want to do first is just clip it in and see if it's going to work. Okay, so now there's my actual book. It's a little too long for me, but we're going to test it and see. Okay. All right. Now, once that's bound in there, it's going to look like this. And I don't need this much out here. And I think we're just going to guess to start off about right here. Okay. I'm going to take that much off on each side. And if we screw up, we have another bag here. We have another few pieces here we can work with. And honestly, this is just winging it, so do it however you feel is good for you. Let's make it 1.5 just to make it easier. It's not much difference. We're going to make it 1.5. Okay. If I cut that off, that'll be perfect. And then I'll just use this piece as a template for this side. Okay, then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and a self-healing mat and cut the rest off. Okay, I've got my piece cut off the edge. And then I'm just going to take my other piece of board and use this as a template. And I'm going to go ahead and just take my X-Acto knife and cut that off. Okay, both pieces are cut off. Let's try this again and see how we like it. I think that will be perfect, and I think this is going to be really cute. Okay, so we got lucky. Let's see if we can stay lucky. So let me figure out if I want to cover this first or put it together, then cover it. And then I'll let you guys know what I'm going to do. All right, where did we leave off? I had to leave for a little while, and the last thing I remember was I was going to get together stuff to cover my book, I think. I need an assistant. I need somebody to tell me where I left off. Well, that's where we're going to start. I went and found some papers. I was going to use some fabric, and then I said, nah, I don't think I want fabric. But I pulled out some papers that I like, and this was just a loose piece that I've gotten, I don't know, from like a loose leaf shelving where they sell papers, but so I don't know of any place to tell you to get this. These two came from a book pack that's old. I've had it forever, called Colorbach. It's called Rosewood. I want to use this for the inside of my book. I'm not following any set way of making a journal. I'm just kind of doing my own thing here. But I'm going to line up my paper at the edge there like this. I'm going to use a little wet glue and a glue stick. Then I'm going to trim my paper away from my board. Okay, that's what my inside board looks like so far. And I'm going to do the same thing to this board. I'm just going to cover it just like I did and trim it away. Okay, I've got both sides of my board covered. So when they go back on, it'll look like that. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same paper to cover this area here. And I'm going to lose my markings, showing me that I want to put my book covers about 3/4 out, but I'm just going to remember about where I've got it. It's not a big deal. Okay, I've got my book covers on the inside done, on the inside of my spine done. So I originally thought that when I did this front side, that I would do the fold over and the tuck in and all that stuff. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to lay it flat on top and cover it. If I need to put washi tape around the edge just to make it decorative, I will. But I don't think I really want to. I like leaving it raw like that. So what I'm going to do now is take my cover fronts and I'm going to cover that with this paper here. And same thing, just going to lay it down and glue it down and trim it off. So when I get back, both of these sides will be covered. Alrighty, I have the front covers finished. I'm just going to go ahead and cover this whole piece. I'm going to use this piece of paper here. I'm going to cover this side, but I'm going to leave a little bit, like maybe, I don't know, 3/4 to an inch on each side. Not the top and bottom, just the sides. I'm going to cut evenly here and here. And that way, when I'm through gluing, before I attach my book, I can fold this over and then there won't be this raw edge on the side here because there is going to be a difference here. And I don't mind the raw edges here, but I don't really want a raw edge here. So that's why I'm going to leave it just long enough to fold over so that there's no raw edge on the sides. So all I have to do is glue my flaps down now. So then when I glue my book cover into the spine, actually it's this way, and turn it over, there won't be any raw edge right here on this edge. But it'll be raw here, so if you don't want it raw there, do all your folding first, then put your inside covers on. I didn't do it that way, so you do it however you want. This isn't really about putting a book together. This is a series was about pages for a book that was already made and it didn't work. So now I'm having to do this, but that wasn't the plan. So I'm not teaching how to put together a book because honestly, this is just winging it. So I'm going to take some wet glue and about 3/4 from my crease here. I'm going to put glue and then I'm going to put this page down, the book cover, and then I'm going to clip it so it'll stay on and let it dry. Before you do this, if you want anything around your edges, washi tape or anything like that, go ahead and do it now. I'm not going to concern myself with that. And if I decide to do something after the fact, then I'll just deal with it then. But right now, all I care about is getting my book together. And then I'll do the other side. Alright, my book covers are glued on, and I'm going to let them sit here, and I'm going to put something heavy down here to hold them in place. And then when they're dry enough, we'll come back and we'll work on this some more. Okay, I have all my pages together. I have them in the order I want them to go. And I have these two pieces left out. We're going to insert those later because I have to do them different. This one I cannot put holes in. It would butt up against the book right here and bend the heart. So I'm going to make a pocket or a tip-in or something like that to put this in. And it would have worked in the other book, the way I planned it. But since that other book isn't going to work, we have to change plans. This one I'm going to either glue to a page or the back of a page or something else. I'm not going to put holes in it either. Okay, so then I took a piece of muslin fabric and I cut. Well, I didn't cut. I snipped the end. I just took my scissors and clipped the end right there. And I tore the whole width of the fabric. I tore two pieces like this. And what I'm going to do is start putting my book together with the muslin like this. And they're long pieces because I didn't know how long a piece I would actually need. So I thought I'd just go with it really long and then I could always cut it later. Okay, so the top hole has all my pages put together. And I'm going to bring them all to the middle. Make my ribbon even. So then I'm going to take the other piece of muslin that I ripped, and I'm going to run this through these holes on the other side. Okay, this is what it's going to look like when you get your ribbons or muslin or whatever all the way through. And it's difficult to keep all these together because there's so many different variations of sizes and bulkiness, but that's what it's going to look like. So then what I have to do is I have to decide where my holes are going to go in my book. So I'm going to guesstimate by moving the ribbons out of the way, putting my book in here, and kind of just eyeballing where these pieces wind up. And I'm going to mark about where I think I want them. Okay, so I've got my first markings, and I measured where the book folds right here, how far in this mark was that I made eyeballing it. It's about 5/8 of an inch. So I just turned my book around and I measured 5/8 of an inch away from the other side, so that now I have two holes, one here, one here, one here, one here. I'm going to get my crocodile and I'm going to punch a hole here, 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 and here, and then I'm just going to put a grommet in there. Okay, my crocodile would not fit, so we're going to go with the big bite. And I'm just going to make the holes approximately where the mark is. Okay, got my holes, and I'm going to turn my book over, and these are called eyelets. I don't know, sometimes they're called grommets. These are called eyelets, and they're square, which is fine. I'm going to put an eyelet in there, and then I'm going to squeeze it together with my big bite. Okay, I have my eyelets in. They are not straight. It won't matter because you won't see them anyway, but it would have been better to use round ones because then it wouldn't matter. But I use square ones because that's the first thing I came to. I'm going to go ahead and bind my pages in here. I'm going to take these two pieces of muslin and I'm going to run them through these two holes. And I'm going to take these two pieces and run them through these two holes. So the bottom one will go through the first hole here, and the top one will go through the second hole over here. And then I'm going to pull them through to the other side. Okay, I'm going to pull it all the way through. Like that. Then I'm going to loosen it up if it needs to be loosened up. I'm going to tie these together just temporarily to see how I'm going to like it. I think that's going to be perfect. Now I have to decide how I want my ribbons tied, and I think I'm going to go ahead and tie them, and then if we're going to do any more to the book, which we will, we'll decorate the top. We'll just leave the pages in while we do it. Now I'm going to take the pages out to decorate the top. I'm going to call it a day, so I'll be back later. Okay, I'm back. It's the next day, and I'm not feeling much better, but we're going to keep going. I've been sitting here with all this stuff in front of me from my box because I just can't figure out how to do the book. I don't know how I want to decorate it. And I just thought to myself, you know what? You're sitting here and you're agonizing over the perfect things to put on the book. And yeah, I want it to look nice. But my goodness, it's not like it's the last book I'm ever going to make. So if I don't like something, I can just tear it off, or I'll just live with it, you know? I'm not going to sit here and keep agonizing and agonizing. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and just put some stuff down that I kind of like, and probably when I'm done, I'll love it. And one of the things I want to do is use up more of these stickers. And I thought I would put down some of these lighter lavender color stickers down here because they kind of go with this paper color back in here. And I may not see them when I'm finished, but they're there and I use them, and that makes me happy. And I'm just going to put them on my book because I'm tired of trying to guess what to do. So I'm just going to use these lighter colored ones. I'm sure it'll be pretty. And if it's not, it'll be okay. We'll just cover it up or something, you know? was sitting here with some lace trim also, and I was thinking I want to put this down or this. And I have this tag that's got purples in it that I liked with this, and I thought I'd put that down. And then I have this little cluster of fabric, and I made these, gosh, a year or two ago, and I don't know if there's a video on it or not. There's supposed to be, but I don't know if I got around to it yet. And I thought I'd put that down there, but I'm going to put some more stickers first. Okay, and you can still see some of the sticker sticking out. I just wanted the color there. I want a little trim at the end here before I put this down, so I need to find a little piece of something left over on my table. Okay, I'm going to use this little piece of ribbon here. Just going to cut it in half. I was playing with it a little bit off camera, and I decided I like it like this. I want to use this little tag, so I want to have it wind up looking like that. And I'm going to put a little ribbon at the top of this tag too, but I want these glued together so that I know where they're going to go. While this is still drying, I'm going to take care of this little issue here. I'm going to make this little back page a place where I can slip this in, and that way it has support. And I'm going to take a tag and glue it right here on this side and this side. I'm going to leave this open, and that way this can slip down in it. And I've got a little piece of muslin left over from when I tore my muslin, and it was not tearing straight, so I had to tear a couple pieces in order to get it started on a straight line. I'm going to put that in here and see if I like it. I think I'm going to go ahead and glue this little piece of ephemera right here, just to have something on the tag, and then I might distress it a little bit later. One other thing I'm going to do is take this sticker here, and I'm just going to put it in the center, as close as I can get to the center on the inside of my book. Kind of like, you know, this book belongs to type thing, but I don't know, I'll put something else there probably. Or maybe I'll just leave it. I just like it there. I think it's pretty. And the back, I don't know if I'm going to do anything to the back at all. I don't know, maybe it's better to leave it. I don't know. I'll decide that in a second. But for now, I think what I want to do is put my pages in my book and then decide what I'm going to do on the edge here. Okay, I still have all my muslin stuck through my book here. So I'm just going to bring it back through the holes like I showed you yesterday. Okay, I'm just going to bring these two through these holes and these two through these holes. The bottom one through this hole here and the top one through this hole here. I'm trying to decide how I want my binding tied. I don't know if I want it tied together or separate. I'm going to tie these together in a knot, and these together in a knot, and then I'm going to bring them together and tie them as a knot in the center. And I can't really do it on camera because I have to have the book like this, but I'll try. Just going to tie this in a knot. And I'm leaving a little leeway in here for my pages to be able to open, just a little bit. So this knot's going to keep this one in place. And then I'll tie a knot over here. I know, this is just making it up as I go. Never seen it done like this, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. Okay, then I'm going to take these two and these two, bring them together and tie a knot in the center. Okay, then I'm going to cut my little strands about that long. Okay, so that's my edge so far. I'm going to take some more muslin and I'm going to tie little knots to make more little strands. That's how I'm going to leave my edge. I like it. Okay, and then my back piece here. Stick this in here like this. So now that page is in. And this one has to be glued in somewhere. I'm going to leave a little bit at the top open, so if I wanted to make this a pocket, I could. Okay, I've given it a lot of thought, and I've decided I'm not going to put a tie on the side. I can add it later if I decide that I need it, and I think it's really cute. One more thing I do want to do, though, is I found this little piece of cluster of thread when I was looking for closures to see if I wanted to add one, and I'm going to add that in the corner of my heart here. I just like that texture, so I want to add it. And I think that's all I'm going to do. I might add one more little thing, maybe a button or something in the middle, but if I do, I'll let you guys know. And I'm going to go take a second and get my face squared away because it's running away with me. And then we'll look through the book. Okay, let's go through the book real quick. I'm just going to show you the front. Okay guys, thanks for joining me for this journey. I appreciate it. I had a great time making the pages, and I will see you the next time we manage to get together. I hope you have a great whatever it is, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. It's gonna have to be voiceover. My nose is just running away like a freight train.